Together we will save this country, we will restore the republic, and we will usher in the rich and wonderful tomorrows that our people so truly deserve. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, brighter, happier, stronger, freer, greater, and more united than ever before. And quite simply put, we will very quickly make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wisconsin. God bless you. God bless you, Wisconsin, and God bless the United States of America, our great country. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
It was a speech for the ages, gang, a timeless moment that we'll all one day be talking about with our grandchildren. And we witnessed it together. You know, it has an air of inevitability to it. And even the left-wing activists disguised as journalists are admitting it. Look at that. That's Melania coming on stage. She's about to surprise him. This is one of my favorite moments. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, especially given what happened last Saturday.
Hey gang, with everything going on right now, it's hard to say what could happen or what will happen. And to make matters even worse, we usually don't find out until it's too late. But when it comes to your money, you should understand what's at stake. That's why I partnered with Goldco. Now, you guys know I'm a big fan of hedging future risks with the timeless value of gold and silver. And that's why you've got to click on the link below or go to turleytalkslikesgold.com to get your free gold and silver kit. Gang, it's an amazing free resource that shows you step-by-step how to get into precious metals tax-free and penalty-free, even if your money's still in a retirement account like an IRA or a 401k. And the best part is that you may already qualify to get up to $10,000 in free silver. You've seen the writing on the wall. Click on that link below or go to turleytalkslikesgold.com to get your free gold and silver kit right now, because this is about taking back control of your freedom and your privacy. We can't predict the future, but we can certainly prepare for it. So don't wait. Take action now to defend your freedom, your privacy, and your future. Click on that link below right now.
One of my favorite movies of all time is the Academy Award-winning film The King's Speech, starring Colin Firth, who plays King George VI, Queen Elizabeth's father, who suffered from a terrible stammer that prevented him from being able to speak publicly. It's an amazing film. It's the true story of this incredible life journey where George is helped by a speech therapist named Lionel, and they become the closest of friends throughout this very painful and humiliating process. And the entire film climaxes with Bertie, that's King George's nickname, Bertie having to stand before the entire world and give a speech that was supposed to galvanize and inspire the whole of the United Kingdom on the eve of World War II. And of course, the agonizing drama of the film centered on the self-doubt that just plagued Bernie his entire life. How on earth am I going to be able to rise to this occasion, this epic moment? And you could hear him say it out loud over and over. How was he not going to fail his nation for such a time as this? At a time of this civilizationally altering war. And he questioned over and over again, why has God put me in this place? And in one of the most powerful scenes of the movie, it's the night before his coronation. I think they're in Westminster Cathedral. It's just the two of them, Bertie and his speech therapist, Lionel. And Bertie is just, he's stammering, he's upset, he's stuttering, he's trying his best to convey how inadequate he felt. how angry he was at Lionel for giving him false hope, for making him think he could do this. And he just said, I'm a fraud. He cried out, I'm a fraud. And you made it worse because by making me believe, and of course he's stammering through all this, but by making me believe I could publicly speak, you saddled this nation at a time of war with a voiceless king. And as he's talking, as you can see, he turned his back to Lionel because Lionel wasn't responding. So he turned around only to see Lionel sitting on the throne, his monarchical throne in the cathedral. And he screams at him and says, you can't do that. Get up. Get off of there. And Lionel's like, what? What's the problem? It's just a chair. And Bertie says, that's not just a chair. That's St. Edward's chair. That's the chair. That's the seat of every king and queen of England. And Lionel's like, I don't care how many royal arses have sat in this chair. And Bertie shouts and says, listen to me. And Lionel snaps back, why? I don't have to listen to you. By what right do I have to listen to you? And Bertie shouts back at him, by divine right, if you must. I'm your king. And Lionel said, no, you're not. You're not my king. You told me yourself. You said you didn't want it. So why should I waste my time listening to you? And Bertie screamed out, because I have a voice. I deserve to be heard because I have a voice. And Bertie suddenly realized that he stopped stammering. And Lionel got up from the chair. He looked at Bertie in the eyes and calmly said, yes, you do. You do have a voice. You have so much perseverance, Bertie. You're the bravest man I know. And you will make a bloody good king. Last night, Donald J. Trump found his voice. Last night, we witnessed history. We witnessed a new man, a transformed man, a true and heroic leader. Last night was so much more than just a speech. I think we all felt it. Everyone who witnessed it felt it. We'll find in a moment even Democrats felt it. It was so much more than a speech. Last night was a celebration. You could see it. Every single person in that arena, you could see it on each of their faces. They were all so happy. They were joyfully radiant, so ineffably grateful for the gift that God so graciously gave to our nation. No one captured that sentiment more than wonderful Tucker Carlson. You know, before Trump spoke, the one and only Tucker came out to speak. And I gotta say, I think it was sweet karma. We're doing it right there, right now. Sweet karma that Fox News actually had to feature Tucker speaking at the most epic moment in our nation's history. I mean, it was amazing. No notes. He just spoke completely from the heart.
watched the video of what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania about 50 times. I think I was one of about 8 billion people around the world who watched it. And the more I watched it, the more it struck me that everything was different after that moment. Everything. And this convention is different. The nation is different. The world is different. Donald Trump is different. When he stood up after being shot in the face, bloodied, and put his hand up, I thought at that moment, that was a transformation. This was no longer a man. Well, I think it was divine intervention. But the effect that it had on Donald Trump, he was no longer just a political party's nominee or a former president or a future president. This was the leader of a nation.
That was a brilliant observation. That was Trump fell to the ground a candidate for president. He rose as the leader of a nation. And the two are, they're obviously very, very different. I mean, Tucker went on to point out, you can have a thoroughly empty suit. I mean, you can literally have a hollowed out cranium as president, but he's not the leader of a nation. He's certainly not our leader. That's just something, whether anyone likes it or not, that's just something in many respects we have no control over. We don't decide this. We like to say we decide our leaders, but I think Tucker said in a very profound way, no, a true leader of the nation is chosen, but not by us. And no one can change, no establishment operative, no one can change the fact that someone like Sleepy Joe is not the leader of our nation. He may be our president, but he is emphatically not the leader of the nation. Gang, he's not even the leader of the Democratic Party at this point. What Tucker just said there was so profound. Trump fell to the ground as a candidate. He rose a commander. He, at that moment, transformed into the true leader of our nation. So, who really chooses our leaders? Who makes that choice if it's not us? Tucker left no doubt.
Happened over the past month since the debate, and particularly on Saturday in Butler, I think a lot of people are wondering, what is this? This doesn't look like politics. Something bigger is going on here. I think even people who don't believe in God are beginning to think, well, maybe there's something to this. Actually. And I'll just stop with this. I'm not always convinced that I'm on the right side. I've been on the wrong side many times. You'll never hear me say, I'm on God's side, or God's with me, or even I'm with God. I want to be, not sure I am. But I will say this unequivocally and conclusively. God is among us right now. And I think that's enough. God bless you.
God is among us. Emmanuel, God with us. And what do you say at the end? And that's enough. There is nothing more ultimate than that. God is with us. He palpably felt the obviousness of that in that arena. God is obviously with that man, and therefore he is among us. Even CNN, of all places, freaking CNN, sensed something profound was happening in their midst.
People are so mad about it.
We are like minutes away from Hulk Hogan, Dana White, and Donald J.
All right, so
Trump.
who do they want to run against? Let's talk about that.
I want to say so we can have an academic.
And you know what?
You see something? I want to say something.
This spirit that this guy has, you guys think this because he's drunk? He's not. This whole thing is like this. And Look,
Yeah, he's
hey,
drunk
listen.
on the
Hey,
purpose
guys.
tonight.
The last time I was in a convention that felt like this was Obama 2008.
Yeah, you know,
There's something happening
Yeah,
You
where.
just wrote a headline, by the way.
What's that?
You just wrote a headline with that
All
comment.
right, and just like Obama, Trump is showing in this convention he has the capacity to alter the composition of the electorate. That is
The difference between two. Did you hear Van Jones? I mean, did you hear that? Something is happening here. Something is again, it's ineffable. You can't pinpoint it. It's not one thing, or it's not a bunch of bullet points. Something extraordinary is happening here. There hasn't been a convention like this since before someone went on to win 365 electoral votes. And as you can see on the floor, as you can hear from the CNN panel, we're witnessing not a speech. We're witnessing a celebration. We then, of course, saw the one and only Hulk Hogan coming out. He gave an awesome and rousing speech. You know, as the father of two sons, I'm a huge WWE fan. We've gone to several WWE lives here in Philly. We've actually done a video on how Trump cultivated his populist appeal through his involvement with the WWE. And then we had Kid Rock come out and rock the roof off the place. My kids are like, who's that? And I explained to him, that's Kid Rock. He's a rock star for us 50-year-olds. he never gets old, you know. He was so awesome. And seriously, when was the last time you saw the Republican National Convention with hard rock celebrities rocking the roof off the place and WWE stars ripping their shirts off? I mean, again, it's a transformed party because we have a transformed man who is at the center of a transformed movement that is poised to transform the nation and indeed the world. We then saw Dana White, the president of the UFC, come out and introduce his very dear friend, Donald Trump, again, with a very passionate speech, inspiring and invigorating speech. And then, gang, the one and the only, he took to the stage as only Donald Trump could do. Oh, come on, put up that volume. There you go.
To Houston, to New York, to LA. There's pride in every American.
Yeah, what followed really was, frankly, extraordinary. I mean, Trump began to speak in a very humble, soft, conversational tone that was perfect for the occasion. And it was such a counter, right, to the unhinged maniac that the left-wing activists disguised as journalists and legacy media constantly try to portray him as. Stephen Cruiser in PJ Media, he was pointing this out in an article he wrote, reflecting on the speech. Trump took to that stage really as the true adult in the room. And he had a very frank and very tender and very compassionate talk with the nation after having been absent from the national stage for a few years. And the nation was riveted. Again, we have to underscore here, this was more than just Trump at his best. This was a transformed Trump. Remember, one of the key hurdles for Trump is that in the past, while the vast majority of the nation supports his policies, they don't necessarily support his personality, right? We all know that. We love him. We love him, but we all know people say, yeah, I like what the guy says, but it's the way he says it, right? For right or for wrong, that's just the way it is. That's just reality. We just have to deal with that. The vast majority of the country supports his policies, no question. But they don't support necessarily his personality. Make no mistake. What happened last night, a personality came out that was utterly endearing. It was loving. It was whimsical. It was lighthearted. I mean, we witnessed a transformed man last night. Mike Cernovich reported that he personally heard people around him say, dang, this is a different Trump. This is a different Trump. I like him now. They like his policies, and now they like his personality. He did it. He delivered a speech that showed a whole new and wonderful Trump. The speech itself was a home run. Again, we never heard a speech like this ever at a political convention. It was at times tender and tearful. It was riveting. At other times, it was just lighthearted and funny and humorously silly. It was rich with policy proposals, very politically astute. It was, when all is said and done, an extremely friendly, warm, inviting conversation with the American people. Again, everything he said, literally everything, 80% of the nation supports. We've got all the polling on that. The vast majority of the country supports border control, energy independence, boosting our manufacturing and industry, lower taxes, lower regulation. Everything he said, 80% of the nation supports it. Last night was really all about getting over that final hurdle of the grotesque, propagandistic portrayal of Trump, the stigmatization of Trump by the Democrats and the legacy media. And it was nothing less than a glorious grand slam.